Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Paradox of Sports with Jack Sentner.
All right, here we go. Paradox of Sports, episode 55. Christmas. Jack, did you have a good Christmas?
Yes, I did.
What did you guys do?
We stayed at home for Christmas, but then after Christmas, we went to Lubbock and Amarillo to go watch a Texas Tech basketball game.
How was that?
It was good. Texas Tech absolutely destroyed them.
Yeah, that's that Division I, the athlete that plays at that level. Even, I know you go to a lot of the CSU Pueblo games too. That athlete competing at the D1 level in the Big 12, those guys are physical specimens.
Yes. I also have a joke.
Okay, let's hear it.
That I learned. Okay. So, Juan and a lawyer are sitting on a plane trip from New York to Los Angeles. And the lawyer asks the blonde, "Do you want to play a fun game?" The blonde, being tired and just wants a nap, says no. But then the lawyer comes up and says, "Come on, it'll be fun." And then the woman says, "Fine, what is it?" And so the lawyer asks, "If I ask you a question and you don't know the answer to it, you owe me $5. And if you ask me a question and I don't know, I'll give you $5." And her, being still reluctant, says, "Nah." And then the lawyer, he says, "Fine, if you ask a question that I cannot answer, I'll give you $500. Okay. So then, awestruck by the offer, she takes it. So the lawyer asked the first question, saying, "How far is Earth from the sun?" And she has no clue. So she pays the lawyer $5. And then the blonde asks the lawyer her question. "What has 4 legs but walks with 3? And then the lawyer tries everything he can. He searches up his sources on his computer. He emails all of his coworkers. He looks at a lot of articles, and he just looks at anything possible, and he can't find an answer. So then he says, "I don't know," and then pays the blonde the $500. But then once the lawyer says, "So what's the answer?" Woman, being tired, gets her pocket, pays $5.
Win-win, man.
Yep.
It's all part of the game.
That was the world's longest joke.
That is a long joke, but you used some big words there in your setup as well. So
yes.
Before we got some football stuff I want to talk about, but
hold up.
Let's
okay. I saw it
first our interview, and then afterwards we'll talk a little bit about pro football.
Okay. Introducing our guest, host of YouTube channel That's Good Sports, and fellow Broncos fan. Please welcome Brandon Perna.
Thanks for having me.
Right on, Jack. He's all yours.
When did you first know you wanted to be a content creator?
Ooh, that's a good question. Probably, I think around 2010, 11. I was video editing in California, and I took a job with this company called Maker Studios. And I was directing and editing videos for other YouTubers and seeing like how successful they were. And instead of just working for them, I thought maybe I should get in on some of that action, try making my own videos. And that's kind of like what really pushed the needle for me. Before that, I went to college for video production. So I've always wanted to be involved with video creation and making videos. And that kind of started back with like my skateboarding days, making skate videos in the summer. So that's kind of where I got the itch. And then, but at the time, like YouTube wasn't around, so it wasn't really an option then. And, YouTube came, the internet sort of changed things. And I saw that you could do it all by yourself. And that was really what I needed, where I could make, shoot, write, do all the things you need to make a video on my own, because relying on other people to help is always tricky. So I thought if I could just talk about something weekly to start, let me do the Broncos, because I know I can talk about them, and eventually the NFL.
What led you to turn your focus to the NFL?
Well, the Broncos starting to suck. So I was just Broncos, and that was great. It was fun. There's like a great Broncos community out there. And I was having, I built up a small channel, and I noticed, though, after they started playing poorly, people's interest in the Broncos specifically started to decline. And I always wanted to talk more about the NFL. So I was just pushed. I was pushed by the Broncos to focus on the league as a whole, because, come November, when they're not going to be in the playoffs, people don't care. So I had to start talking about like the NFL as a whole and kind of figure that out.
That was one thing I had. You kind of answered it there, but I was curious on if you felt your channel does better when the Broncos play shittier, or are you getting more the better the Broncos get? Because misery loves company. So I didn't know if it was like, if this is the best year you've ever had because it's a dumpster fire, or was it better when we were, AFC champions and all that stuff?
Yeah, I think it's definitely better when they're winning. And I think like if I had my knowledge of YouTube back when the Broncos were really good early when I was doing it, I think I could attack it differently and be a little more relentless in how I approached their momentum with Peyton Manning and always being good, and have a little more fun with it. And the videos would probably do better now. I think the Broncos aren't bad enough where people can sort of have fun with them losing. Some of my videos where I'm just ranting about them frustrating me again do well, but overall, it's definitely in terms of like the Broncos numbers, those are lower when they're playing bad. And maybe that's just because Broncos fans are used to winning, but mainly like, I think you got to be down at the bottom. You got to be like Texans bad, Jaguars bad, Lions bad to really have fun and people embrace the misery of it. So I just think they're just too mediocre. They're not bad enough to really have too much fun with it. And of course, they're not good enough to, get people super excited about them every week.
How often do you get recognized around town?
Well, I rarely leave my basement, so not that often. But when I went to the Broncos Raiders game this year to do some video stuff, and that was kind of crazy. Like there was a lot of people that recognized me there. But if it's like a Broncos sort of event, then I think there are a lot of Broncos fans who see the show and you get recognized, which makes you feel like all the work you're doing is kind of worth it. But I can go out in public and not be recognized.
Do you know that, like, was there like one time, maybe the first time when someone come up and mentioned that they had been watching you and stuff, that you were just kind of like, all right, man, that's pretty cool. Did it kind of catch you off guard that first time?
Yeah, for sure. And I think when I first started doing the channel, I was still in Los Angeles. So, it's not like you're running into Broncos fans there. So it was kind of like coming back home. And I don't remember the first time, but I remember, like I was shooting, I think, some tailgate videos and realizing that people in Denver were actually like watching the channel. And I was like, oh, wow, that's awesome. So, and I think like it was the Ravens game was the first video that did really well. And it was kind of after that people started paying attention. And yeah, it's a good feeling when people appreciate the work you do, because on YouTube, it's kind of lonely. You're just like talking to a camera, you're putting up the videos, you got comments and stuff, but none of that's real life interaction.
So you have declared a state of emergency on the Denver Broncos. Do we eventually banish Pat Shurmur from the state of Colorado, is what you said?
Oh, 100%. Gone. And he's going to be gone after this, I believe. If the Broncos have to go through another season with Pat Shurmur calling the plays, I might have to really lean into rooting for a second team next year. But I think the
Overall-
offense is an issue, and he's wasting a lot of talent right now.
Overall, how do we fix them?
Quarterback, get a quarterback who's above average, and I know that's not easy, but there should be plenty of options this offseason. And if they can't
No, the
trade for one,
quarterbacks are fine. Our quarterbacks are just fine. It's the play calling. We have to find a new head coach. Possibly move Vic Fangio down to defensive coordinator. And
I
fire
think-
Pat Shurmur.
yeah, I mean, I think the quarterbacks are fine, but I don't think they're elevating the level of the offense at all. You need guys that are gonna make plays in tough situations, and guys that are gonna kind of take control of the offense outside of just the play calling. But I agree. I don't think Shermer's putting them in a great position to succeed, and I think the evidence of that is that Broncos fans agree. Like, there's a ton of talent there, right? Between Sutton, Judy, Fant, Albert O, you got two great running backs, and somehow the offense is still a weakness. So I think they can upgrade the quarterback position, though. I think they can do it through the draft or through free agency. And I will gladly.
Do you think they can fix it until, like, I don't think it's going to change until ownership. Like, I think until they get the whole ownership deal. I mean, the whole shit rolls downhill and everything. I think Dove Valley is still such a mess that until I'm sure you've worked places where the higher ups, it was just a disaster, and
Right.
everyone feeds off that and feels it. I just don't think it's going to get better until we figure out and there's finally somebody in charge, and it can get fixed as a whole.
Yeah, I think it depends on how much freedom George Payton actually has to do what he wants to shape the team this offseason. And it's like they're in limbo until they figure out the ownership deal, which Vic Fangio could be back just based on that alone, right? Like, why change a coach when you're going to have an ownership change who might want to change the coach again? So I don't think any of us know George Payton's thinking, and I think he's kind of the wild card there. If he has a lot of freedom to do what he wants, I think he's going to make a lot of changes this offseason, because I don't think he's blind to the problems.
I'm calling it right here. Peyton Manning is going to be the owner of the Broncos by the next season.
Well,
Boom.
he might have a little
Perfect.
bit. He might have a little bit, Jeff.
Peyton Manning and Brittany
he ain't got
Bowlen.
that money.
Oh,
Bowlens are out. Bowlens
They'll
are
be
out.
out.
They're done. Yeah, Pat, God rest his soul, but Pat did not leave things correctly when I think if maybe they had a do-over, they'd have wrote some stuff a little differently to you just can't leave that much stuff in limbo. Like it I don't think, because that just seems like a disaster.
Mm-hmm. Now I'm just reading something that Jeff Bezos is going to become the owner. Or Jay-Z.
Yeah. There's a lot of options out there. I don't know
this
who's
is
going
a
to.
very messed up saga. So,
Yeah.
who do you think the next owner will be?
Oh, man. I really don't know. I have no clue. I'm not going to pretend like I know. I think it's probably somebody that's not in the headlines, some rich person we don't really know, but maybe has, an itch to own a football team. And you got to be massively wealthy. Like Peyton Manning and his hundreds of millions of dollars in net worth. Even the Manning family combined and their hundreds and hundreds of millions of net worth would only get them a piece. They have to partner with a financial group to get it. If that can happen, Peyton Manning is my choice. He may not be the majority owner, but if he's given the freedom to function and do the things an owner does, I think that he has the right mind to direct the team and the competitive hunger to always be striving to be the best. And that's not the case with every owner. A lot of owners, they're just figuring out how to minimize or maximize their profit, right? So if you're a bad team that doesn't make a ton of money, you're making decisions based on financial issues. So you want somebody with deep pockets who is going to put all of the money they can into continually building the team. So if it is Manning, he needs a big deep-pocketed billionaire to be backing him, to give him the freedom to, sign players they want and all those sorts of things.
Peyton Manning and Jeff Bezos, calling it right there.
Boom. I'll take it.
Do you have a relationship with the Broncos organization at all? Are they fans of what you're doing?
I don't think so. I don't think they're fans. I mean, they're nice to me. They're cordial. They'll answer my email, but not really. Not really.
Mm-hmm. Whenever you're out of your basement, what do you do in your spare time?
Now it's just hanging out with my wife and my baby. So we've got a 16-month-old daughter. So a lot of our time is just spent, running around the house, keeping her entertained. If I'm not doing that, probably watching something that's not football related, maybe having a little whiskey. I know you're too young for that, but that's my hobby.
Well, it's also Uncle Kevin's hobby, so we're on the same we're on the same wavelength right there, man.
Yeah, exercising. I like to exercise. The summertime, riding my bike, my mountain bike. Even though I'm not like in the mountains, but I ride it around as much as I can.
Mountains. What was
about
your
you?
favorite?
What do you like to do if you're not watching Broncos?
I like to play video games and play basketball outside.
What video game are you into?
I play Madden, NBA 2K, and Rocket League.
Okay, cool. Do you do any gaming videos?
Oh yeah, I have a Twitch channel.
Oh, nice.
I have with my friends.
Awesome.
Well, I've got
what
one
I'm trying to
question.
work on him on, Brandon. I've been working on him, and that's I feel maybe if you were kind of doing behind the camera stuff at the start, then you are as good at writing as like your videos. Well, two things really fast before I get into that. The decision to have the little VCR and the TV, that's been with you forever. Like where did that decision come from? And like how did you decide that was going to be part of your stick of what you're doing?
Right. Well, like I knew to be able to repeat what I was doing, like I had to have a locked off camera because couldn't have somebody running the camera for me. And I was in an apartment in LA. So I knew the set was going to look janky. I was like, just lean into the jankiness of it, do an old TV stacked on VCR. So it looks really crappy. That way, if you're crappy, it's all part of the environment as well. So I just leaned into the fact that I had little to work with, honestly. And
that's
always
the other thing,
kind of that nostalgic sort of vibe,
Oh yeah, I think it's awesome. Like and you've kept it. That's what's cool.
Yeah,
the other thing I've got on Jack about is the importance when you're doing content of writing. And I do mean it. I think you write, like, especially kind of the stuff that I feel is a little more scripted. It's like stand-up comedy, good level
that.
Written stuff. So how important is just the writing aspect of what you're doing?
Oh, it's everything for me. And I have a writing partner, Will Keys, who he co-hosts all the Broncos podcasts with me. And having him help with every script really just made the show better. And that kind of happened. I mean, this is 3 or 4 seasons now together. But like for me, like I'm really not that good at improv. You know what I mean? Like I can get in like 1 or 2 maybe funny things and if you're just trying to freestyle sort of thing. But so for me, like I had to have the stuff written down and I need to think about it because your opinion sort of evolves and change just through the duration of a script sometimes. So to me, that's really important because I don't think like I'm a great performer without having the points there for me. And my brain's kind of stupid. So I'll forget what I want to say if I don't write it down. So yeah, writing's huge for me. I think some people are really talented at being off the cuff and they have like a photographic memory. I don't want to overuse that term, but like they can remember all their points. Like I can't. So writing's good for me. I don't think everybody has to be great at it. Like you can outline, you can have a structure of what you want to do. And if you know how to get from point A to point B to point C and D, then riff that way. But yeah, for me, my show would be horrible without it.
I have one last question for you. What was your favorite moment of your career in YouTube or journalism in general?
Oh, and yeah, I would not call myself a journalist, first of all, because I make up a lot of stuff along the way. I like to I like to think of myself as like the poor man's Daily Show for football. Great man. I don't know. That's a good question. Well, one of them was I mentioned the Broncos Ravens video. So like I did the show with a comedian, Sam Comro, and we were talking sports in general, and not many people were watching it, but I thought the show was decent. But that Broncos Ravens game where Peyton Manning threw 7 touchdowns, I was at my parents' house. I just found those 7 TDs on YouTube, put them together in a video, recap that episode. And that was the first episode that got over 1,000 views. I think it got like 2,000 or 3,000 at the time. And I was like, oh my God. Okay, well, I'll just talk about the games. I'll kind of show what happened in the games. And that gave me like a formula to sort of go forward. And then I went to Super Bowl 50 with Vic Lombardi, who is a Denver sports anchor. He brought me there to help him make videos, and I got to make some videos for my channel. I wasn't at the game. I was by the stadium. I watched the game in a Bennigan's parking lot alone with a bunch of strangers. But the fact that they won that game and that I was there, I got to help interview some of the players for Super Bowl 50, and they won. So those 2 moments kind of stick out as one for the channel and one for just being a Broncos fan and being around the team, after they won was really cool.
Awesome. Well, man, I appreciate it. I know you're busy. You found out a lot of stuff. So I don't know you got anything left today. We're taping this. It's New Year's Eve in the morning. So I'm sure you got a lot of stuff to get done before you settle in and watch some football. So we appreciate you taking the time, man.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me. Am I the last show of 2021 or the first show of 2022?
Show of 2022.
Yes. May all your episodes after mine be better and better and better. Bigger guests, smarter guests, get them all. And let me know when you guys post. I'll retweet it, do whatever I can to help promote it.
Cool, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me.
Sweet. Thanks, man. We want to thank Brandon. He had just finished up a live show that he does. I'm spacing the guy's name right now. That is the Packers fan that he does the podcast, his live show with. And they had just got done, and he jumped on with us there for about 20 minutes. The internet was a little sketchy that day. I don't know how that determines, like when it's a little sketchy, whose internet it is. It was storming like crazy up here. So I don't know if maybe that had something to do with it. But is that something, like, could you do what Perna does? Like, is that something you'd like to do where you just put out YouTube content multiple times a day and kind of have that be what you do for a living?
Yes.
So that's the goal. That's the goal, is to get to where you have a channel and you're just content.
That is said goal.
Okay. Beautiful. All right. We were going to talk some football. What do you got?
All right. I got the big thing here. Antonio Brown. He pulled Avonte Davis on us. And it's expected that he will no longer be a Buccaneer.
But they haven't released him yet, though.
It's going to be at the end of the season. Bruce Arians confirmed that he will no longer be a Buccaneer once the season has ended.
So you think they'll just pay him these next 2 weeks, or how does that work?
I bet they'll probably suspend him and then release him.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah. See, I don't know how that works then with him filing a grievance if they decide not to pay him, because I think he's claiming he was hurt, but he didn't want to go in the game, and kind of see where that goes.
I feel bad for all of the Jets fans out there. They've already endured all of the suffering. They did not have to witness Antonio Brown walking around like a fool with his shirt off,
Yeah, but it's a memory.
giving
I mean,
the
that would
bird
be
to
pretty cool to say you were there
bunch
at
of
that
fans.
game.
Mhm.
The Broncos are going to do. What do we got to do to fix? What do we got to do to fix Denver?
Okay, first thing, get Pat Shurmur out. Maybe even Vic Fangio.
I agree
Also,
with both those.
I either re-sign Teddy Bridgewater and Drew Lock or pick up a new quarterback entirely.
I think we got to blow up everything. I think we got to we need a new quarterback. We need a new OC. We need a whole new system. Our offense is terrible. I think the defense is where it needs to be. But the fact that we can't score 17 points a game is that's ridiculous.
No, the thing is, the whole team is good, except the quarterback and the coaching. Those are our only flaws.
And the play calling. Yeah, like it's atrocious.
You've got two insanely good running backs. You have Tim Patrick, Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy. You have a bunch of targets in the air. Also, Noah Fant, too, and that backup tight end. What was his name? ObiWan?
Yeah.
And I'm hearing my mom laughing in the background. I don't know what that is.
Did you not say his name? I don't know. I sure as hell can't pronounce it. ObiWan Kenobi?
Yeah, ObiWan Kenobi. Let's call him that. Let's just call him that for the remainder of the show. Yeah, so you've got Fant and ObiWan Kenobi. And then we have a pretty good O-line. We've got Garrett Bowles, Dalton Reisner, a few others. Defense-wise, we just have one of the most solid defenses in the league.
So yeah, we should be able to compete.
Yes.
Who do you think if we do get rid of Fangio, what direction do you see us going for a coach?
I was seriously looking at Eric Bieniemy. I
agree.
Because although my friends also are interested in this topic, and they said that Eric Bieniemy will not leave Kansas City.
Because he thinks he's going to take over for Andy Reid, like when Reid goes?
Yeah. And then also, like, I'm going to look up offensive efficiency.
What if we get the offensive coordinator from what if we get that OC from Green Bay and then Aaron Rodgers comes to Denver? How cool would that be?
Yeah.
I don't know. I watched him again today. I'm not so sure he's not just going to retire, man.
Wait, hold on. I'm trying to find this so that we know who is leading in offensive efficiency, because that's what we need. We need a defensive-minded coach, first of all.
Yeah, but then we just need to hire. We need an offensive coordinator.
We need a really even coach. We need like a really even-minded coach.
I think Vic Fangio would be a good head coach if he brought in a damn offensive coordinator that knew what he's doing. If you're going to have an old-ass coach like Fangio, you need to have a young, up-and-coming offensive coordinator, in my opinion. That's how I think you fix it.
Yeah. NFL leaders.
Do you go back to school yet? When do you guys go back to school?
Oh, we went back to school on Monday. I just got home from school.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
I didn't just get home from school. I got home from my haircut.
Gotcha. Looks very good. Are you knowledgeable in it still?
Yeah.
I call it knowledgeable. You guys call it something else. But
you're
still. I know.
We're undefeated
you don't
in
lose.
this, and we're undefeated in this, and what's it called? Basketball.
How's your fantasy football end up?
I'm going to I made it to the playoffs, and then I lost. And if I lose again, that'll be the third straight year that same occurrence has happened.
Oh, I'm sorry, dude. That
I'll place
sucks.
4th for 3 straight years. And
Ah.
I'm so close to winning money and not.
Well, been on a roll lately with I got down to $17 on my DraftKings account, and I'm up to 280. And I have some money going right now. So I got the Avs puck line first period -0.5, and then I have a 3-way parlay on Kansas State over LSU tonight here at 7. So I got my goal is to get my account. I want to get my account up to $300. That's my goal.
Yes. Let me see if I could figure out who is currently in the scoring offense. Like, let me figure out who is the best.
It's got to be Tampa Bay. It's got to be Tampa Bay and Green Bay, right?
Yeah, hold on. I'm going to pull this up. Team offense-wise, the leader in yards per play are the Rams and the 49ers.
Okay.
What should we rank this off of?
Your gut, man. You tell me who we get.
Expected points contributed by all offense. The Bucks are in the lead. So we should get, you know what? Byron Leftwich, the Bucks offensive coordinator.
Yeah, he's another one. I think you're going to see him be a head coach too. My feeling is I think you're going to see him go to the Bears. I don't know why, but I just feel like Leftwich is going to go to the Bears.
The 3 offensive coordinators that are most likely to become head coaches next year: Byron Leftwich, Eric Bieniemy, and Packers OC. Who is it?
Yeah, is it Hayden? Something Hayden or something like that?
It's Nathaniel Hackett.
Yeah, Hackett. Yeah. So, yeah, I think
like a good coach. Hold up, I'm gonna find team defense.
I do think it helps having Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback. I think that does help. Maybe make you look like you know what you're doing offensively if Aaron Rodgers is out there executing the plays you call, or maybe audibling out of the stupid plays you call.
Yes. And then defensive wise, 3 defensive coordinators that might get a job. First of all, got Patriots defensive coordinator.
He's not leaving. That's Belichick's boy.
Patricia. It's Matt Patricia.
No, Patricia just got back there. Patricia failed miserably in Detroit.
Yeah, Patricia failed.
Nobody's giving Patricia a head coaching job.
Yeah. What about Buffalo Bills? Or Bills defensive coordinator? Leslie Frazier. He also seems like a good guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then who's the Saints defensive coordinator?
I don't know. They did have the guy that had the bounty on everybody. What was his name? He was kind of a jackass.
Dennis
I can't remember
Allen.
what his name was.
And then there's Dennis Allen.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But personally, the best fit for the Broncos offense has got to be Byron Leftwich.
Okay, that's what we'll go with then. Jack says it. We need Byron Leftwich. Come on, Elway. Let's make that happen. So get us a guy. Beautiful. Okay, man. I'm going to go down and get ready to watch my LSU game, see if I win some money on K-State.
All right.
It's gonna be 30 below here tomorrow, so I gotta get under the covers here. It's gonna be cold.
30 below.
So, yeah,
it's gonna be like 50 down in Colorado, but the next day it's gonna only be like 20.
Yeah, you're usually a day or two behind us when we get the dumb weather. So cool. Okay, well, we'll watch a little football this weekend and catch up again here in a couple weeks. You want to get us out of here?
That's it for this week's edition of the Paradox of Sports podcast. Be sure to like and subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and TikTok. I need 1,000 followers. Please, please, please. Also get Uncle Kevin some followers, too. You have my what's it called? My TikTok, right? Yeah. So our links are in the bio, and we shall see you. Goodbye.